Rime-Coat Raiment is probably the most popular new stasis exotic, and for good reason. It's so strong, especially when used within Prismatic, since that offers great survivability. But for me, it has always been missing one thing, and that being a proper way to generate lots of orbs to loop into more ability spam, healing, and armor charges. But this build fixes that issue, thanks to the brand new Area Denial GL from Vesper's host. Now before we get into the build, if you guys do enjoy the content, a like and sub would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for the support so far this season. And hey, come hang with me live on Twitch Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I'd love if you'd come stop by. Thank you. So this build's focus is around using the brand new exotic chest piece Rime-Coat Raiment, which grants us enhanced stasis turrets that have increased range and spawn in 4 crystals around its frost, storm, domain, whatever you want to call it. Now there'll be a first set of 4 right away, and then 4 more 15 seconds later. Inside of the storm, you are also granted icicles. These can be fired alongside any weapon, applying slow and then eventually freeze to enemies. These can be stacked up to 5 times as well and be used every 0.2 seconds. These icicles are honestly great in adding stasis synergy to any weapon you have equipped, which I think is a really cool feature of this exotic. I would love to see more of this, Bungie, please. Now for the subclass, we're going to be using Prismatic to take advantage of its really good survivability options, those being the Aspect Devour for heals and some insane grenade regeneration, and then Faceted Purpose to grant ourselves restoration, since our super of choice will be Song of Flame. Now I tried a bunch of different options, and yes, I know ignitions are bugged, but I still think it's the best option since we aren't using a Star Eater's class item. Now the abilities we're going to be using are going to be Phoenix Dive, Arcane Needle to both spread Unravel and have an easy way to grant Devour if needed, Healing Grenade since it has the shortest cooldown, allowing for grenade gains from Devour and other sources to be a lot larger. Now the fragments used in the build are going to be Facet of Ruin to increase the size and damage of shattering stasis crystals and frozen enemies, and then also increasing the range on our ignitions, Facet of Dawn to grant Radiant on melee hits for a damage buff and also to deal with anti-barrier champs. Now if there aren't any champions in the activity you're doing, you can swap this out for something like Facet of Awakening or Facet of Hope. Next is Facet of Protection for damage resistance near combatants, Facet of Balance where rapid darkness defeats will grant us grenade energy. This alongside Devour will allow for some crazy fast grenade uptime, I'm talking like kinda ridiculous. Lastly will be Facet of Purpose for restoration on orb pickup, which I know isn't the strongest these days, but with the amount of orbs we will be spawning in, it will be almost constant uptime, so it's actually pretty good. Now I'll leave the subclass screen up so you can kind of see everything all together if you missed anything, also because I didn't really talk about the aspects that much. It's obviously just Bleak Watcher and Devour together. Now for the mods, the importance is to build into getting special ammo to allow us to spam Velocity Baton like crazy for more heals and ability spam. On the helmet, we're going to be using a Kinetic Siphon and double special ammo finder. On the gloves, Void Loader and double Focusing Strike for class ability gains from melees. On the boots, Recuperation for quick heals and double Absolution to fund ability energy back to all abilities, since we're already gaining so much grenade energy back from stuff already in the subclass itself. Now on the class item, Bomber for some extra grenade gains, Special Ammo Finisher, and Powerful Attraction to suck in orbs when we use our class item. Now for the artifact mods with this build, we're going to be using Rapid Impacts for a stacking grenade launcher reload speed buff, Fell the Revenant, Total Carnage to gain damage resist when hitting finishers, Debilitating Wave so our finishers will also emit a damaging wave matching the element of our super, Concussive Reload so our grenade launchers can apply weaken to bosses, champions, and when breaking enemy shields, and then Hail the Storm so our crystals will spread slow and damage around, and then the Tonic Boost that will increase the damage of shattering a frozen enemy or a crystal. In the last column, we're going to be taking Brain Freeze so frozen enemies can spread slow to others, and then Supernova where picking up a Void Breach will cause a weakening pulse. We will be able to use this thanks to the new weapon mod Synergy, where multi-kills with weapons spawn in an elemental pickup matching its energy type, and Velocity Baton will be able to easily spawn in some Void Breaches. Also, I'll be honest, there aren't really that many good options in the last slot that provide a lot of synergy outside of Brain Freeze, so, mix and match how you please. Now for the last part of the build, the weapons. The most important weapon in this build is going to be Velocity Baton with Attrition Orbs. This will allow us to spawn in a crazy amount of orbs everywhere, granting us some insane healing and ability regen pretty much all the time. This weapon for me is the best in slot when used with builds that struggle at either survivability or spawning in orbs. The other perk I would recommend alongside this would be Demolitionist, but even just one with attrition orbs would work fine. I mean, look at the roll I have, it still puts in some insane work. Now the other two weapons really are up to you. I personally like using Kavastov and Chill Inhibitor with Cascade Point and Bait and Switch, but if you don't have those, it's fine. You could even opt to using the new exotic GL to help spawn in more ammo, and maybe something like Bittersweet. Or really any other weapon combos you might prefer. I think this build has tons of flexibility in those slots, but I highly recommend you to use this build with a Velocity Baton with attrition orbs. I think I've made this video at least 3 times over the past couple weeks while trying to figure out what I felt like was the most fun and what just synergized the best in making this build something I would enjoy. And it was once I tried it alongside Velocity Baton with attrition orbs that this build fully clicked for me, providing just stupid amounts of CC, healing, and insane ability spam. This build alongside the new Mask of Fealty Hunter build are so addicting for me, and it's really honestly thanks to the new Area Denial GL. I feel like I can't glaze this thing enough, man. It's really an S tier weapon for all activities. Please go out and farm it, especially when we're getting double drops and encounters. I think it's November 19th to like December 3rd, 8th, some period like that. I don't know, I'll put the dates up on the screen so you know them. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoy the build. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support so far this season. It means a lot to me. Thank you. See you guys next one. Peace out.